Hello, everybody, and welcome back to match coverage for the AEA 2025 Spring Series Fortnite competition. We are here in the reload match mode here, match game type, and I am joined today by Fizzable. Fizzable, how are you doing?
I'm doing really great 22. Almost mispronounced great. So right out the gate, you see about where we're at. But Fortnite today at the AEA, and we have an exciting set of matches coming your way.
We do, we do. Um, we have had a couple of hiccups in making sure that everything is functioning correctly. So what we've discovered is there might be a visual bug or two as we are going around. As you can see, the map already has a little bit of a visual bug if you saw the storm a moment ago. So we're expecting a little bit of that, but one thing that still will be on full display here, visible, is just the skill level, the mechanical ability, the rotational ability, and the teamwork that we're going to get to see from the various teams in this competition, including the Yarks Fortniters, who are here on screen now, a staple of the AEA, back-to-back national champions here at the AEA, and we're closing in on the 2025 national championship as well, so they have that pressure, and it looks like they're ascending onto another team, Visible.
They are indeed, and they are great with surprises. They like to jump teams. They like to take them off guard. They like to fight early and often, look for that conflict. Let's see who they're trying to take on here. Romaine actually just gets jumped there, completely taken down, and is out. Well and out. Neo's still with just a little bit of HP left, looking to try to escape and get that res off. Cannot stay here long, but there's just not a lot of places to run.
The impulse nade is going to be a good way to try to get out of dodge. I believe it was Destiny Ames who had secured that elimination onto the Yarks Fortniters duo there. Neo's now dangerously low HP, getting pushed as well, and is going to get the full drop. But Visible, the reload game mode continues to be an interesting thing to spectate, as Romaine was able to reload in that downtime. And that means that the Yarks Fortniters, they are down, but they're not out, unless Hardcase is going to be able to find that second elimination onto Neo's. But I don't think that's the case. I'm guessing that Neo's got out of dodge there and is looking to maybe lick their wounds and fight another day.
Yes, indeed. Now we're here with Destiny and Hardcase of Wolfpack Red, and they're looking to get the loot that they just claimed and see what they can do with it.
Absolutely. Good on them. I mean, they got some early points going for this round. I would say, what's interesting about this is I believe that the Wolfpack Red roster was not able to compete in match day number 1 due to just some schedule conflicts on their end. And that means that they're a little bit behind point-wise for the matches, the scoreboard for this week. So it'll be interesting to see if they're able to kind of make up that deficit, or if that's going to continue to hold them down. But right now it looks like they're going to be able to make that up, playing quite well here. Now let's keep an eye on Try Harder and BDS Talk, as they are
Tulsa Roughnecks here.
That's also Roughnecks. Okay, yeah. So is this the Roughnecks red roster? Or Roughnecks
Gold
blue?
roster.
Gold. All right, the Roughnecks gold roster. Very good. BDS Talk and Try Harder making a rotation towards Center Storm now.
Just kind of skirting the edge of the circle here. We can see on the map, because we have the spectator. Oh wait, actually we see Romaine is up. Quite interesting, and then they're actually firing on Romaine. I thought Romaine was eliminated.
Yeah, but that's the thing about these reload match types. You just have to live for 12 seconds, Visible, if you do get knocked down. 12 seconds is that timer where you can get picked back up in the majority of the game. That setting goes away in the late game, but I need to stop yapping because there are some nice shots being landed. Unfortunately, that's on to BDS Hawk at this time. We'll go over, trying to look over for Try Harder here. Might not be able to see exactly how this is going to go from their perspective. Let's see if we keep moving around. A lot going on all over the map right now, but we'll settle on Hardcase here as that fight continues to devolve. As I was saying with that reload game mode, even if you do get eliminated, Visible, you can reboot yourself back up and then get back in touch with your duo to keep your team alive in these fights, which means that the aggression is less risky at times if you're able to make those clean escapes, but also the aggression is even more important because you can't just get one pick, put that point in your pocket, and call it good. You need to be eliminating both players of the duo if you really want to eliminate that team from contention for a given round.
Gotcha. This is actually my first time with this game mode. I've always been a battle royale guy or a box fight, spectate a lot of those, but This kind of has a little bit of a different twist to it. It's interesting. I'm going to take a while to learn that, but the players have been with this all season long and seem to know the score. But the circle, just like the other modes, does still get tighter and tighter, so the action should ramp up and up as we go on. 35 seconds until the next circle is determined. Zastro is here and is
Not moving.
hiding out.
He's
Yep.
not moving this time. Zastro be moving. Is right. Currently, Zastro be chilling. So, but you know, eventually the time will come. Rotations will be forced. We can actually see it's a little bit congested. That's what I do like about these reload lobbies. I mean, look at the congestion taking place. I want, well, maybe we can zoom in and try to figure out where the best spot to spectate for a fight is going to be. There's just a lot going on right now. Focus Slayer is taking some damage, and we'll see what's causing that to take place. The duo out of Grouchy, Ethan, Kitty. Is this Team Z? Are we able to get that confirmed, maybe visible? But it looks like Grouchy, Ethan, Kitty is going to drop with 4 limbs, though. A very, very solid performance there before Focus Slayer gets dropped as well. Did you get a roster confirmation, perhaps?
Yeah, this is Yark's Team Z.
All right, Yark's Team Z. They're down. They're out of this round here in match number 1 today. But, you know, they put 5 points on eliminations in their pocket. That's really good for the Yark's Team Z roster, I feel. Now we're hanging out with Cheeseburger and Next Rev. It's going to get very chaotic very quickly. Look at the minimap visible. There are multiple teams hanging out in this area. And we are going to see what Next Rev and Cheeseburger are able to make of this.
The Next Rev and Cheeseburger of NCEA Gold here.
Got it.
Trying to build, or sorry, take down a structure here. Take down the base a little bit. It looks like this might be the weak point. It is. Didn't know if it was attached anywhere else. Trying to drop it.
It was a
Rebuild
good...
takes a huge hit. Unfortunately, takes a massive, massive hit, and will not have time, seemingly, to recoup any of the HP. The shields, the HP, all gone. Next Rev is gone. Cheeseburger's the only hope for the gold duo.
Yeah, so the strategy here for Cheeseburger, a little bit right now, you just need to stay alive, right? Just got to stay alive for about 10 seconds, and then Next Rev is going to be able to reboot themselves visible. So you can see Next Rev now with their health bar back, should be back in the mix right now, and they're dropping in. This is a dangerous time, right? Especially as we get to the ending section of this late game. You don't have a lot. You do respawn with some items with you to make sure you're not going to get picked right off right away, but not a ton of great loot to actually sustain yourself around. So it looks like Next Rev is able to touch down. Cheeseburger this time going to be the one to drop, and Next Rev having to lead the duo to staying in this.
Looking for the shot that ends it all. 2 a.m. Clouds is down. Next Rev gets a really, really nice looking finish there. Is getting flanked though, and is dropped. I can't quite tell who got Next Rev. It was TikTok Domain, so Cheeseburger's still up. But Domain was able to get the kill there from Carolina Storm Academy.
Right. So one of these visual bugs that I mentioned is that we're having trouble viewing player loot, which is so unfortunate. Although I will say, I believe that 200 IQ Dread has the rocket launcher visible. We have not seen a rocket launcher in competitive Fortnite in a while. It is a tool. It is maybe a more frustrating tool that players have to encounter in their games, and so we'll see how it's going to get used in this matchup here, especially in the hands of 2 a.m. Dog and 200 IQ Dread. Is this? Can you help me out with this roster here, visible?
This is NCEA Platinum.
NCEA Platinum. Yeah, very good. So Platinum roster from the North Carolina Esports Academy. The North Carolina Esports Academy, man, they have been growing their program out when it comes to Fortnite. They have a lot of very, very, very competitive teams and competitive players. And North Carolina Platinum, they are one of the most competitive, I would say, for the North Carolina Esports Academy club here. So a strong team, absolutely. I believe they're in our top 5 in the standings coming into this match day number 2. And I'm sure they're looking to crack the top 3 with some strong performance today. We'll kind of keep bouncing around here. We can see we still have 14 players alive visible. 14 players alive in this very late circle. I mean, as you said, we're used to casting these maybe slower Battle Royale matches. The reload matches, they are fast and chaotic, are they not?
They're really, really fast. A little bit hard to follow with the scoreboard being the way it is with Fortnite, but we can kind of get a little bit of impression and some highlights. So that's what we're here for, to kind of highlight some of the gameplay and the scoreboard sort of sorts itself out once we get it all tabulated at the end. So very fun, very different. Still getting a little bit used to on my end, but circle still closes. It's kind of strange to have like a set time too. You never really know when a Fortnite match is going to end typically, but this one it has kind of like a set. We know how long each round is, so just a lot of kind of fun little differences.
Yeah, it's a little bit closer to maybe the 15 to 20 minute match time here. A little bit of variance, of course, but still pretty close to that in general. Down to 9 players now, so 5 have been eliminated. We still have Hard Case alive, who we were just following here. I believe this is going to be a Wolfpack Red roster, if I'm calling that correctly. If I'm not, please let me know. Wolfpack Red in the mix, North Carolina Platinum in the mix right now, and a few other teams as well. So let's see if we can get a lay of the land. Destiny Ames with Hardcase. We have A-Blade and Linko Stinko. A common showcase here on the AEA broadcast. Can you remind me of this roster here? Linko, Stinko, and A-Blade?
A-Blade I cannot find. Let's see, Link. Okay, so this might be Pavloman and Link.
Okay.
And this is of Yark's team.
Yark's Team Z. Okay, if this is the Linko. So Yark's roster, again, the Yark's club producing teams like the Yark's Fortniters, very, very well decorated rosters. Very good. So we have Yark's involved. We have Alpha Esports involved. We have North Carolina Esports Academy involved with their rosters. Here's another the Yark's roster. This is the Fortniters, Neos and Romaine. We started with them, and it's going to end with them right now. You can see they're invisible. They picked up 11 eliminations, so they're not too devastated with that performance, but they are going to stick in 5th place for this fight here in match number 1.
200 IQ Dread taking some pot shots, and we can see just a couple teams remaining here in the last circle.
I think the high ground position here for North Carolina Platinum is pretty clutch visible. They are able to put out so much pressure onto any other teams that dare rotate in their area. Like the poor, I think that might be Liko Stiko trying to make that rotation, is going to find it, thankfully for them.
Yeah, I don't mind this at all. I like the positioning. I like the
they're gonna
spot.
Get the
as long as you have a strong base, takes down A-Blade there. That was really impressive. Nice long shot. Has a really strong AR. As you can see, we can't see the loot, but I'm assuming possibly a gold AR. Very, very strong looking. Hitting for a lot of damage there. I'd be a little bit worried with some of the structures. They kind of make these little limbs that aren't very strong. I always get a little bit scared once they do that, but it seems like the teams aren't taking too much advantage.
They are building out of metal there. You know, it's gives you a little bit more heads up. Chesburger is going to fall. Man, I feel like we saw Chesburger and Nextrev go through it in this match. Here's going to be the aggressive play. No, a blunder. Visible tried to use the grappler there to negate any fall damage. It didn't quite work out the way that 200 IQ Dread was hoping for. And Visible, this is a good time to talk about one important distinction about this reload format. Yes, you can reboot yourself if you get eliminated, but in the end game, that is no longer an option. And so at this point in the game, rebooting is not an option. 2AM Dog is going to have to go for a proper, good old-fashioned revive and isn't going to find it there. Now this is getting very chaotic and very ugly. What started as North Carolina Platinum having optimal positioning is now them on the low ground and down a player from their duo Visible. It's going to take some acrobatics here from 2AM Dog to bring this one back. Nice shots landing. And maybe now that they've got a little bit of a better position in the circle, especially if they make a further rotation, they're going to be able to quiet down and let the heat die off. We're down to 3 players left Visible, excuse me, four players from 3 different teams. So we have multiple solos running around right now.
Multiple solos, Hardcase and Destiny. I think Destiny actually is still up, just very, very low.
And they're our last remaining duo, it would seem.
Yep, Wolfpack Red. Kind of keeping to the low ground, very interesting. Taking a couple pot shots, or getting some shots.
But Destiny, with the recipient, I barely saw that on the edge of the screen, Visible. Destiny just takes a quick shot onto the person who took those pot shots onto Hardcase and quickly shuts them down. And now we're down to our final 2 teams. It is a 1v2. We have 2 players for Wolfpack Red, and our last is 2AM Dog of North Carolina Platinum, Visible. I mean, a strong place to be is in the final 2, but this is a little bit dicey, and it's going to be a trap that boops them back into the storm, and that's a victory royale for Wolfpack Red.
Really nicely done there from Destiny Ames and Hard Case.
All right, we are hopping right into match number 2 now. That was probably one of the more exciting matches visible, getting to spectate match number 1. Huge shout out to Wolfpack Red for putting that win together. I know it's their first win of this season here in the 2025 Spring Series, but you know they've definitely shown signs of life, shown promise in previous matches in the fall season, and you know, we were waiting for them to kind of show us that dominance. So seeing that in the last round was fantastic. Is there anything you're looking forward to particularly as we load up here into match number 2?
You know, first game is kind of a warm up. It's a how do you do round. How are we feeling today? Let's kind of get the ball rolling with some of the strategies, but nothing really gets developed in the first round. But to me, it's always more interesting to see how teams respond to early results. So for all the teams that didn't get the result they wanted in that first round, how did they come out and play differently? What did they change up? You can see at the top already, Zastro, user taking out Keeg the Destroyer and A-Blade. A lot of
activity
happening.
Yeah,
for so early.
I'm wondering where all these fights are taking place. As our spectator lets us hang out with Domain, we'll kind of chill out a little bit, which isn't the case for some of the fights. We can see the kill feed is popping off right now with different fights taking place around the map. But right now, our spectator is inclined to have us with TikTok Domain. Now, notably, this is a member of the Carolina Esports Academy roster here, and they seem to be playing as a solo Fizzable. I think they're playing without a duo at this time, so definitely added pressure onto a team that is in our top 3 for the standings right now. So they've been performing well. Performing today as a solo definitely adds an extra element of difficulty to that.
We're here with Keeg, who I believe was eliminated actually early on, the Mammy Merchants here.
Very good.
Very, very fun name, Keeg the Destroyer with Contender. They also have another player on roster. Shout out to Boost Reset, which sounds like a fellow Rocket League
That's
enjoyer.
what I was thinking too. I was like, Visible might have found an excuse to talk about Rocket League. We love Rocket League.
Oh, Rocket League, how I miss you dearly.
We love Rocket League. But today it's all about Fortnite, Keeg the Destroyer, Contender 403. That's the Mammy Merchants. We'll have to keep an eye on them as we get moving on and around. Actually, it looks like we will be keeping an eye on them because, again, our Fortnite spectator here is pretty keen on us watching TikTok Domain or Mammy Merchants, which I am just fine with.
We've actually kind of added to our bug tally a little bit. Looks like we don't have access to our map potentially.
Yeah, I think that's kind of how the spectator likes to act at the beginning of the round. It's almost like a perk that we get access to in the middle of the game. It's like now you've unlocked your map.
Shout out 200 IQ Dread, making some supposedly 200 IQ plays. I think that was 2 or 3 eliminations there, at least 2 there for NCEA Platinum. Swapping over to Hardcase's him, who goes down, and Destiny also goes down. So that is Wolfpack Red dropping here early.
Yeah, our winning team from the previous round dropping early. Just as we unlocked new spectators to watch disaster unfolded on stream. So yeah, Wolfpack Red dropping a little bit early. They did get 2 eliminations visible, so that's a couple of points that are nice to add. But look at this, Neo's laser beaming and now pressing W. Getting the laser beam in return though. This is the Arch Fortniters pressing W as they are known to do. Finding a lot of damage but receiving more visible. I mean, that is dangerously low. Maybe 5 HP there for Neos, who is going to get ultimately dropped there. Maybe we can tune into Roy Main, maybe not. Maybe we'll hang out with the Neos point of view, who is going to get the good old-fashioned revive.
Here we go. Neos getting picked back up, and what a storied career they've had at the AEA, Neos and Romaine. The Arcs Fortniters have been just an unbelievable presence from, I believe, the very beginning of the Fortnite here at the AEA.
If not, they joined very soon.
Might have been year 2 or like the second, basically what we think of as like the second split. It was very, very early on and have just really made an impression every time they played. But great to see them still popping off. Clouds actually gets dropped there, and I wasn't expecting Clouds to get dropped from the Tulsa Roughnecks Red team, but The HP just disappeared really
So it could
rapidly.
be yeah, I kind of missed that one. That's on our Spectre bug count here.
Yes.
Sometimes if you see that they just disintegrate into thin air, that's just a Fortnite playing a good old fashioned prank on us, and they might still be around. We are making the best with what we got here, visible. But the
I was gonna
Fortnite,
say they got vaporized.
yeah,
That's not good.
but yeah, Fortnite giveth and Fortnite taketh away at times. But at least in terms of gameplay and the competitive experience that the players have, they don't obviously experience any of these tribulations that we might see on the spectator side of things. So we'd love to continue seeing the gameplay from the players as best we can, even if it is a little scuffed at times, admittedly. But Alpha Esports 6 duoed up here with Ketchup. This has got to be our Wolfpack Blast roster. Looks like Ketchup Alpha is going to get full knocked, full eliminated, but this is a good thing about the positioning here for Alpha Esports 6. They've got enough distance between themselves and Ketchup and the opposing team that Ketchup is going to be able to get rebooted, so just here in a second you'll see Ketchup's HP kind of pop back up, hopefully. Yep, there it is. And so Wolfpack Black, they are still in it, visible. Love to see that in the reload game mode. Just an extra level of strategy, I think, added in.
Oh, I just love the anime style sword. I have to say, even as someone pushing 30 years old, katanas always cool. They never stop being cool. I think I'll be 55,
It'll still be
75,
cool.
and it'll still be cool.
It's
It'll
a
still be really cool.
timeless feature, timeless item there. The cool katana. TikTok domain. We mentioned earlier the running around as a solo. They've found 2 eliminations somewhere in their visible. So somewhere in their escapades, they have taken out what seems to be an entire duo. So 1v2 or not, TikTok domain is able to make it happen. Truly talented player here in this competition. We can talk a little bit about Mug and Power, which is kind of a tough name, visible, if I'm being
That's pretty
honest.
tough.
That Mug and Power, to say that much in so few characters. I have nothing bad to say. Duoed here with Mr. Clueless, who is just now catching that reboot. So this team must have just cleared out of some sort of team fight. Are we certain on what roster this is, Fizzle?
And I was just about to mention, I cannot find their names,
All right.
unfortunately.
Very good.
I've typed in many variations, but we know their names. Not
Yeah.
100% sure of
We
what
know.
team they are. That will be still tabulated correctly. We'll be able to
Right.
narrow down which team you're a part of.
It's
So
just a matter
no
of
worries in that end.
Fortnite players changing their name on occasion. But in any case, tough names. No eliminations for Mug and Power and Mr. Clueless at this time. But they're still alive, visible, and that's what matters.
That is pretty important here. Is this like a green screen suit?
How smart is that, you know? This is
That's
like
kind of
oh
clever.
gosh. Who is a Bush Camp Dad? Is it Bush Camp Dad? Are you familiar, Visible?
I'm not familiar with Bush Camp Dad.
This is a very Bush Camp Dad-esque skin. So Bush Camp Dad, if I am recalling the Fortnite lore correctly, is a streamer who is just a dad. He's just a dad that doesn't really game, but he plays Fortnite and he hides in trees and in bushes, and he gets the highest rank in Fortnite every season because he's the GOAT.
Incredible.
Yeah, he is the GOAT. But Cambu, excuse me, not Kaboom, Cambu, might just be a little bit better. Maybe even the innovator of this technique here with the green skin. Duoed here with Chesburger. So I think there might have been a substitute for this roster, which is good. You get those extra players in between rounds. Fresh bodies in the game. Fresh minds to call rotations. We're down to see, that would be our spectator bug. We're down to 9 duos left in this game here. Hogleg, Killa, and Falker's Rider are one of them. I believe this is a Springfield roster. Maybe the Irons, visible?
Let's see. We were just on NCEA Gold. Now on to Hogleg, Killa, and Falcors. This is the Irons.
Yeah.
And yeah, they've been moving well. Looks like they're looking for a bit of a drop. Actually, is this so? Is that a? Oh, I see. It's like a care package sort of
Exactly,
deal.
yes.
It's gonna be
So being able to pick up this care package, there's a lot of good loot in these, but they serve almost as pseudo objectives, visible, because, you know, the gameplay is a little bit quicker here. You have more people alive in these smaller circles. Going for something like a care package in the small circle can be dangerous. They pop up on the mini-map. People are aware when they get picked up. So it kind of sends off your position, but it's a risk versus reward, as Hogleg Killer is able to pick up some good loot in response to grabbing that pretty quickly here. Falker's Rider's looking good. Kind of a calm situation for them overall right now. We'll see who maybe is in a less calm situation. 2 a.m. Clouds and OG Leon. Is this a Roughnecks roster? We'll get that confirmed.
Indeed, Roughnecks Red, and taking or dealing out a lot of damage there, takes out Alpha Esports _6. Really nicely done, using the katana for some nice movement. Perks there as the circle is encroaching on the livable space here.
200 IQ Dread with an elimination onto Chesburger. 2 a.m. Clouds is taking a ton of damage right now. Or at least receiving a lot of damage on the mats, but able to push back that suppressive fire. So again, our Roughnecks Red roster seeing red right now. They're Wing it down. They just need to find that window of opportunity. OG Leon does, and actually that's a big elimination. It's on to Roymain Visible. That's going to be one of the members of the Yarks Fortniters down. A big elimination to start with, but if you don't get Neos eliminated, then that is going to be a quick reboot. So the pressure is currently on for the Roughnecks Red roster to find that full elimination of the duo. And I don't think that came through yet. I have not seen an elimination onto Roymain, unless that happened maybe before the Neos elimination. But it's also possible that they've been picked up and are back in. So we'll keep an eye out for that as this gameplay develops a little bit. Clouds is receiving some shots visible to the side, but we're getting kind of into the dangerous territory of maybe a third party getting involved in this mix. I believe Rain Owns You and 200 IQ Dread are also involved in this little skirmish, or at least tangent to it. We'll see if they get involved more aggressively here as they're rotating in.
Rotating in now, Dread and Neos. Excuse me, not Dread and Neos. Dread and Rain. Pushing the structure, just trying to find a way around. Ooh. It looks like someone got the shot off on Rain, and Rain drops. Dread's gonna dip out of there, and as we know, you gotta eliminate both, right, in this mode.
Exactly. So this is what we would expect to see, getting out just to play for that reboot here. So Rain Owns You, unless reboots are off. I believe by this point in the game they should still be enabled, but I guess we'll find out here in a second if Rain's is not yet in. In the late game visible, the reboots are disabled. 200 IQ Dread, reboot or not, is taking a lot of damage and is trying to get that exit rotation. Looks like they're able to do so. Well, we'll keep up, kind of bounce around here and see what our other rosters are up to. OG Leon and 2 a.m. Clouds, they're looking pretty healthy for the Roughnecks Red roster. And hey, look at this. Alpha Esports 6, we saw them get knocked earlier. I feared that was the end for Wolfpack Black, but they were able to get that reboot off. And so Wolfpack Black is still involved in this late game circle here as well. Zastro be moving, looking for a revive on to Try Harder.
Getting the res.
They did get
Roughnecks Gold, and they're getting pushed. Now Try Harder's gonna have to deal with pretty low amounts of health resources. They're gonna get a second though, dropping the health pack for the teammate.
Love that. Love to see it.
And might have accidentally picked it up. Nope. Okay, it did go on to Try Harder Suite. So getting the HP back up.
Oh no, we left Wolfpack Black for just a moment. It seems that they had been pushed onto. So I do believe that was the end of Wolfpack Black, as we had just seen. Reptex Gold, they've stabilized. Well, we were worried about them as Try Harder was down. The res came through. They got pushed by another team there, but it looks like the Roughnecks Gold are going to be in a position to be a strong team. There's 5 teams left. Roughnecks Gold. This would be Carolina Storm, I believe, if you can get the roster name confirmation for me. I believe they're currently either in first or second place for our competition. Okay, Carolina Storm Academy, is that what it is?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So Carolina Storm in this, even if as a solo, they are here. Try Harder, Zastro be moving, that's Roughnecks Gold. Chesburger's down, no reboot available at this time, I believe. Cambu still up here for one of our rosters as well. I'd have to get confirmation on that one. And then our Roughnecks Red, of course, looking very confident in this high ground position and slinging shots across the way.
Looking for the player that's trying to drop on them, 2 a.m. Clouds with Leon. Making a nice stand here. But yeah, the people hot dropping kind of on top of them, really making this a little bit difficult. And I don't know what angle they're getting hit from, but they do not want to be on top of the structure any longer. They could maybe look to try to reposition. I don't know if I love this spot. We can't really tell where the circle is right now, which has made this whole sort of deal a little bit more difficult.
Somewhere over there.
There it is. Okay, so it's somewhere in this general area. Okay, we can see the edge right there. So I'm not exactly sure where it's going to go next in a minute, but we might not make it to that point, to where it gets too tight in this one. Only a couple people left on this map, and we know where at least 4 of them are. One, it looks like maybe a solo straggler.
We'll see.
Kind of
Yeah,
bouncing
we
around.
definitely have at least one solo here. We have 5 teams. One of them is a solo. Roughnecks Gold seems to be the team that's on the other end of this. So it's, you know, the 2 Roughnecks rosters with optimal positioning. But now here's the W visible. Zastro be moving is going to get dropped with a heavy shotgun shot landing onto them from OG Leon. TikTok Domain is trying to get some third-party opportunity here, kind of engaging on this off angle. Remember, they're a solo visible, but we have just, it seems like every time we tune into Domain, the number for eliminations is going up and up and up, and TikTok Domain is sitting at 8 eliminations as a solo right now. Incredible for this round here. Roughnecks Gold, despite being down from Zastro, Tryharder still alive and holding a very good position on the high ground. Can we get roster confirmation really quickly for Chesburger and Cambu?
So Ches and Cam, they're part of NCEA Gold.
Okay.
And
yeah,
they've been pretty solid today. They've been on the receiving end of some beatings, but also have dished it out pretty decently too. So
yeah,
ups and downs so far, but you know what? They've made it to the last 5.
Absolutely, they're in a great spot. I mean, solo players not optimal, but they're here, right? 200 IQ Dread. Alive as a solo as well, so we do have multiple solos coming out. Tryharder does get eliminated there from TikTok Domain. From Carolina Storm Academy. Looking to get healed up. Oh my gosh, before you even notice, 200 IQ Dread does get eliminated by Cambu, but Cambu able to take out OG Leon as well, and suddenly visible so quickly. 3 players left, 3 teams being represented. Cambu, a solo for North Carolina Gold, 2 AM Clouds, I believe, for Roughnecks Red, and Domain. This is a solos ending visible. Who's going to take the first shot? Maybe more importantly, who's going to take the last shot? TikTok Domain with an impulse nade flying into the height. This is going to be a high ground advantage. An incredible play for a high ground here for Carolina Storm Academy, holding the highest position on the map. They have the authority here. Cambu in the middle and Clouds trying to make it work from the bottom. This could be coming down to the heels. I don't think that's the ending that everybody's looking for. Clouds is going to get eliminated to the Storm. Cambu's out to the Storm. And that's going to be a victory royale for TikTok Domain on 10 eliminations visible. What a great round for everybody, really, but Carolina Storm Academy coming out on top. All right, Visible, we are loading into match number 3 for the 2025 Spring Series. Second match day here, and a lot is taking place. We have Alpha Esports and Ketchup Alpha. So this is going to be our Wolfpack Black roster. Visible, Wolfpack Black, they showed out last game, I think. They made it to the top 5, as you mentioned. They made it very late into that last game. This is a roster that we haven't seen any victory royales from. They haven't broken into any podium finishes in previous seasons, but I think they really are showing out in what is their first competition day here at the AEA. So a great performance from them last match, I think.
It's important to get your feet wet a little bit. You're not going to enter many competitions, not just in gaming, but in life too, and just be the top dog. Every time you go to a new pond, you know, there's going to be a bigger fish ready to humble you a bit, and they've had a little bit of time to get used to that, to roll with the punches. It's been remarkable to see their growth in such a short time too.
Yeah.
Really fantastic, because these are they're young players. They're players that are passionate. They love to win, but part of winning also makes it sweeter is that struggle to begin with. You go through the phase, that growing season, and they're out the other side now, and they're putting together some really nice performances today. So kudos.
Yeah, very, very, very well said, Fizzball. I can't agree with that more. We're checking out VC Jerry and User 75. I'm not sure if that's a anonymous generated name or if that is, maybe that is, you know, the actual username there, User 75 CECA. But do you have a read on what roster this might be? I think VC Jerry is definitely a familiar name.
So I cannot find Jerry. I cannot find. Obviously, the user seems
very
like
good,
either an error or something like that. But
yeah, we'll be able to
find these guys, unfortunately.
Yeah, we'll be able to confirm exactly what roster it is. Right now, this roster though, they have the high ground position. And they are engaging.
I figured out these are the Knights.
Oh, the Knights. Okay, so Yark's Knights won here with a high ground engage and some good damage coming out quickly. VC Jerry is practically in the box with the team that they're pushing onto right now. more eliminations happening on the elimination feed visible, but nothing from this fight here. A nice shot landed from user 75, and shot received, unfortunately, right back. Can't get a read on VC Jerry right now. We'll stay tuned with user 75, getting a quick heal off to keep this fight alive here. Both players from the duo alive and ready. We're going to see if they might be able to push in. We might go around a little greedily and see if we can get to... okay, we're just user 75. That's who we have access to. That's what we'll watch. So... Oh, actually, we did make it to VC Jerry. Excuse me. So here's VC Jerry's side of things, as they are trying to push through. The Yarks Knights 1. Looks like they're going for the exit rotation, and they're doing it with coordination visible. So the decision to exit, you know, you might like it, you might love it, but what I always say when it comes to anything team related is there's no bad plan as long as we are doing it together. Unfortunately, something about that together part got slipped up as Neos intercepted user 75 and found that elimination. We're gonna bounce around a little bit more. Hot Shoe gets eliminated right next to Nusha, who's down as well. And that is a little bit of an unfortunate ending for that duo as we tune into them. But now we're back with NextRev and Cambu. I apologize, Cambu. I keep wanting to mispronounce your name.
I believe this is NCEA gold here with Cam.
I believe that as well. North Carolina.
But Chesburger's part of NCAA gold. I can't find NextRev.
Yeah, Chesburger, I think, yeah, Chesburger subbed out. Chesburger was in with
okay,
Cambu last game. So,
NCAA gold.
Yeah, North Carolina gold here. Getting some nice shots out. Cambu proving to be very, very effective with the SMG here. Getting a lot of damage out. Now just going for a rotation. Not exactly sure if they're going to be able to find what they're looking for. I think we're getting a couple of visual bugs there. I'm not going to lie to you, Fizzable. But NextRev is in the mix as well, hopefully looking to get involved. And ultimately, we're at 14 players in the game right now. So very quickly, we've actually lost a couple of duos. Usually, I think we were a couple minutes further along before we would see us dropping to 14 players, 7 duos in the game. 2 AM Clouds with that elimination onto Hot Shoe. And we're just going to kind of bounce around and let's see what there is to see. Roy Main and... Neos are still together. There's the rocket launcher finding some damage, maybe not quite. Neos is in the mix here. Royman's still just holding on to this high ground position, Fizzable.
I love the spots. Anytime we pan over or cut over to the Arcs Fortniters, they're always in really prime positions. I feel like I see more of the map when I'm with them. I think they're a great team to take notes on if you're a team that's middle of the table or lower. If you're taking notes, if you want to improve your game, I don't think there's any shame in taking a look at what they're able to accomplish with their positioning. That being said, as I'm hyping them up, Roymain gets kind of a surprise down there. I don't think Roymain was expecting that.
Yeah,
Neos, wow, okay, they're done. They're done for the round.
Yeah, the Arcs Fortniters eliminated from round number 3 here. Maybe a caster curse. We don't take too much responsibility, but no, I mean, I agree with you, Fizzable. It was strong positioning. Maybe you could argue a slightly tunnel vision there onto the player that they were admittedly laser beaming down, but unfortunately that off angle was just too strong from what I believe was 2 AM Clouds. I think did that final blow there. But in any case, I mean, look at this right now. OG Leon and 2 AM Clouds sitting on 8 elims right now for, I believe, the Roughnecks Red, right?
Yes.
Yeah, our Roughnecks Red roster looking phenomenal this season, I will say. The Roughnecks, they're a consistent program. They come in and they play consistent Fortnite, but they haven't been, you know, at the tip of our tongues every single stream day. They're not taking over the camera until last match day, really, Fizzable. This season for them, they have started off on such a strong foot, and they are reinstating that type of performance today. 8 eliminations here in round 3 already, and more to go.
Always a pleasure when we do get to see them. Yeah, you're right. They don't often take over the broadcast, but fantastic to get to see their gameplay here.
I anticipate they might be doing that this season, though.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And they've been up there. There's been a lot of teams that have been teams that we thought on paper would do really well, but have even exceeded expectations. Not many teams we've looked at haven't surprised us. There's been a lot of movement in the standings. There's been a lot of excitement. This new format also probably, you know, really throwing a wrench into some things, and you got to adapt. And in esports an ever-changing format. They do that even in the pros. They change the format.
Yeah, I think Fortnite.
Split, so it just gets crazy.
I think Fortnite might be the strongest example of that. Adaptability is one of the best tools that an esports roster can have in this esports title, more than any other potentially. And even, you know, in the break between games when we were loading up for round 3 here, we were saying this is one of the most competitive seasons that we're seeing. So many teams fighting for that top spot, fighting very, very competitively for that top spot. And then the teams that are typically lower, they're threatening. Even the teams that are in that 6th, 7th, you know, 8th place or lower, able to throw a punch that sometimes really lands and connects with some of those top 5 teams. And so any given round can really be a shakeup. OG Leon with some phenomenal positioning on the high ground right now, just firing shots into this bush. I can't be certain who's made the bush their home there. They have some sort of sniper rifle, not able to find the shots they're looking for. You know, truthfully, I think the Roughnecks Red, they're on full control of the situation. If they wanted to push that box 2v1, I think they could. I'm assuming it's a solo down there. That might be what's happening right now, Fizzable, is they are making this downward rotation.
I think you're exactly right here. They're going to make the adjustment, the rotation. They're a team that we really trust their decision making. So when we see them doing something, there's not much we can do to cast around it except going, wow, I wonder what this is going to yield. Right? We're just excited to see what the outcome of this is.
Yeah, you're just getting looted up there. Not a bad play at all. Able to take that. We'll check over to Wolfpack Red, another roster that is doing phenomenal. You'll please double check that though with Hard Case here in Destiny Games. I'm fairly certain this is Wolfpack Red, and I think they're occupying a space pretty close to where we just saw the Roughnecks Red roster. So we'll see what they kind of make out of this if these two duos end up colliding. These two giants end up running into each other here. Currently, not too much going on in terms of turmoil. Maybe actually one of the calmer matches we've spectated so far, but I think that calm is about to break as the shots are fired. Hard Case, I believe this is a Roughnecks versus Wolfpack Red situation here, Fizzable. Destiny
Correct.
Holding the backline with the Deeg. Hard Case chilling, a little bit low on the HP side of things, but not too bad. And we are up against Roughnecks Red, Visible, who have this high ground position. They're actually pushing into another duo right now, trying to find the full elimination there. An ascent from Destiny. They're taking the high ground into the box, but Destiny finds one. Leon gets knocked as well, Visible. That's Destiny finding 2.
Beautifully done. Oh my goodness, what an ending to that fight there. And it looks like we just have the 2 squads, the 2 duos left. Hard Case and Destiny. And do we know the other team here who they're approaching?
It's Citizens and J Striker. We might need a roster check to confirm who it is, but they are in this
NCEA Navy.
The Navy roster. This is exciting, Visible, because again, just like we were talking about before, it's a middling roster. Navy, they've shown signs of life, and they're looking to do it again in the podium here. J Strikers does get knocked, so it's a lot of pressure onto Citizen here. But if there was ever a time to make it happen, it'd be now. Big play for high ground. Citizens gets the knock onto Destiny's Visible, and now it's a 1v1 situation. Or excuse me, there are 3 players still because that knock has got done through, but still effectively a 1v1. Citizen here makes it a 1v1 proper, and Destiny ends up getting knocked as Hard Case finds the elimination and gets the victory royale here in an incredible finish to match number 3. Visible, we are loading up into match number 4 here. Here it is, match number 4, our final match of the day. And man, is it not getting off on a quick foot there as we see TikTok Domain getting that elimination onto Muggin Power. Again, the recipient of the toughest name in the AEA Fortnite competition award that, it's so prestigious, Visible. We're hanging out with Citizen J Strikers before we get a visual bug that makes them disappear from the screen entirely. Here's the reboot from Muggin Power. What we got to say about North Carolina Navy, though, what a strong performance from them. Almost closing that out for Citizen to go in that last game and turn that into a 1v1 situation. No! Visible Muggin Power has been knocked right off of the reboot here. Mr. Clueless not around to help, so a little bit of a tough situation there for them. But I do want to just finish up what I was saying about North Carolina Navy, because what a strong performance from that roster. I'm really excited to see where they end up. Tied for 5th, or actually no, in the 6th spot. They were placed in 6th coming into these matches today, so... or am I correct? No, it was tied for 5th. Tied for 5th. coming into the matches today. So good for them. Excited to see where they shake up after this round when we get the confirmation of where our rosters are sitting.
And 2 AM Clouds, OG Leon, scouting out early on in this round. And last round, you know, started off, seems like as the day has gone on, the rounds have started off more and more slowly each time, as players are making more adjustments and making fewer mistakes and kind of adjusting to how other teams are wanting to play it. As you can see, Hardcase and Destiny just, opting to chill out a little bit too. You can see the teams are
Kind of
secluded and chilling out. And actually, you know, I don't even know if we can see all of our teams.
We definitely cannot. There are far more names that are not currently showing. But, you know, at least we have a map this time, I suppose. It looks like they're maybe even loading in. Oh, they're loading in one by one onto our mini-map here. But, hey, at least we have a mini-map. I mean, this is something. But we're hanging out with Wolfpack Red, Hardcase, and Destiny, holding down the fort here, no pun intended, toward the southern part of the circle. 13 teams involved in this middling section of gameplay here. TikTok does get that elimination onto Mr. Clueless. Domain 2X getting that elimination onto Mr. Clueless there. And Hardcase and Destiny, I think, as you said, slower, maybe more calculated, looking to really confirm and have that control over their gameplay, right? They want to make it to the late game. They want to get the big amount of points that you get for the placements. But there are teams that are still being more aggressive and looking for the elimination points. Maybe that's Nusha right now, who is coming into this fight right next to Vital Ranger.
Taking some shots here, and yeah, as usual in these later games, as the day progresses, just a nice, reasonable start. Teams just kind of sussing each other out a little bit. Nusha and Vital Ranger out
maybe a little
on the
bit
outskirts of the map.
A little bit pause. Okay, we're good. Not sure exactly what happened there. We love the spectator, but it's all good. Man, can you imagine if Vital Ranger was just able to get a big headshot with the Deeg from like actually 250 meters away? That would have been an insane thing to just casually switch over to. But no, I mean, you know, a calculated distance, right? They're playing far enough to where maybe we do get the pot shot off. Maybe we do get enough damage out to get a point from an elimination or something like that. But truthfully, their goal is more based in staying alive right now. They have information as well. Maybe a secondary goal with this position is just to make sure they get a good lay of the land on where the other teams are. And they do have a read on another team that is rotating through. They might be making a push onto them visible. Not sure if that's
Ranger, nice and slow,
the case or not. In any case, we are going to go ahead and keep moving a little bit here. Nusha being leading that team to some solid rotation here. Valkyr's Rider taking the chill approach. I think, as you said, many teams are taking the chill approach right now. Vital Ranger, we're back over, and it looks like the fight is breaking out potentially here. Nusha is kind of low. Visible, it's a full drop from Nusha. That is not a great thing to see from this roster right here.
Yeah, no, you don't want to get dropped this early.
Oh my
you
goodness!
Should be able to get a res though. Oh my gosh, the movement. And I know we weren't able to see absolutely one-to-one what that looked like.
But we know what that looked like.
The angle, yeah, but the angle was harsh. It was tough, and was able to get the result, and that kind of was all that mattered in the end. So
that was
it's the elimination.
Yeah, that was Domain 2X with that elimination. I mean, Domain 2X mechanically, down to the mechanical fundamentals, is a menace in these lobbies. I mean, that was what led them as a solo to so many eliminations in previous rounds. Spectacular performance from them. And realistically, I think that was just a little bit unfortunate to get jumped so aggressively right after Nusha had been knocked. That's a very, very tough situation to play from. So Rain Owns You here is kind of hanging out on the edge. There is another team, or excuse me, not another team. The teammate here has just been reloaded, so that is good. Back up to a duo for 2 AM Dog and Rain Owns You. Back over to North Carolina Navy, who are catching some shots, so their position is a little bit found out here. Impulse Nade, is it an aggressive one or a retreating one? J Striker's staying alive for the time being either way. Shots still being received. More impulse nades being used. This is turning into a chaotic fight very, very quickly. Citizen has an off angle, so some potential there, but quickly, I'm not even sure if that was a... I think we've been visual bugged out of being able to spectate this fight right at the apex. Fortnite, why Fortnite? I do see J Strikers in the elimination feed with an elimination. Clouds gets an elimination onto Rain Owns You, and I can't follow that fight anymore. I'm so sorry. Visible, that was a fun fight to watch.
There was a lot going on there. I barely even processed most of it, but the players, again, it seems like all of the engagements are getting faster. We're slower to get into them, but the engagements themselves have been much more tightly executed, much more by the books. So the teams are getting warmed up, and we're not quite able to get a full picture of what's going on here outside of Keeg and Contender look like they're in a lot of trouble.
They do, but Keeg did get that elimination onto Chesburger. I'm thinking maybe this is North Carolina Gold. That is the aggressive team onto Keeg, for who I believe are the Springfield Irons. So we have a bit of a skirmish taking place right now. Contender gets the other pick onto Nextrev. So I do believe that's North Carolina's Gold roster falling to Springfield Mavericks, the Irons here. Yeah, you might double check some of those rosters, but in any case, I mean, a strong performance from Keeg the Destroyer and Contenders, going blow for blow there, both of them picking up an elimination and staying alive in what was a very, very tough situation. They were huddled together in their box just trying to stay alive. But if you look at the minimap visible, we have another team closing in very, very, very quickly. It's J Strikers and Citizen, who evidently are still alive and kicking after what we last saw them going through on North Carolina Navy side. They have the high ground position, and look at the minimap. I mean, Paradise Palms, an infestation of Fortnite players right now. Fights are certainly about to break out.
Beautifully, beautifully done here. Citizen and J Strikers, kind of in a rough spot, but they shouldn't take too much of a challenge here. I almost would like them to hide out a little bit and try to get a jump on a team potentially. This is NCAA Navy in here, and they had a great finish just last round. So this is a team that should be seen to more, should be on our radar more and more.
Yeah, this is we're gonna see some rotations being forced here. I think North Carolina Navy is the team to watch right now, as they're making a big rotation through the center of Paradise Palms to try to get into the next circle. Although I'm not sure if they are aware visible that they are rotating directly in between two other rosters, and it is a mad dash sprint for this next circle right now. Citizen does get knocked as well, so J Strikers is a solo in this situation, and I don't think reboots are going to be available. Very risky play to go for the crate. Gonna pick up some good loot on behalf of it. VC Jerry and User 75 still in this mix somehow, as well as the Irons here with Keeg the Destroyer and Contender 403. Can you confirm Keeg the Destroyer roster for me, please, visible?
Yeah, I can.
Thank you.
We are the Mammy Merchants.
Oh, it's the Mammy Merchants, excuse me. Okay, I apologize. I miscasted them as the Iron. So the Mammy Merchants, I'm glad we checked in on that. Unfortunately, the Mammy Merchants going to drop one there. VC Jerry still alive on this rotation. Contender is probably going to, yep, unfortunately, that's going to be the Mammy Merchants getting full eliminated. But hey, they made it to a very chaotic portion of the game. So a very good showing from Mammy Merchants in round 4 today. 2 AM Clouds and OG Leon are bursting it down damage. TikTok Domain, that's Domain 2X eliminated. So Carolina Storm Academy out of match number 4 visible. It's a big player to eliminate.
Really, really big indeed. We're now in here with Tulsa Roughnecks Red. Moving on actually now to Hard Case, Wolfpack Red, and Destiny Aim.
Getting looted up. A lot of teams taking advantage of the crates that are dropping in to get some extra goodies for what's going to be the last circle visible. We're looking at 4 duos left in the game, 8 players total. So 4 full complete teams visible. That's going to make a very exciting ending. Maybe the exact opposite of the ending we saw in our previous game, where we were down to 3 solos. And for 4 duos to be in the game, 2 of them are super, super close together. We might see a proper fight break out between North Carolina Navy And is it North Carolina gold? No, it wouldn't be gold. Is it white with a 2 a.m. dog? I might request that you kind of check in on that.
The 2 a.m. dog is NCAA Platinum.
Platinum, NCAA Platinum. So we have the Platinum and the Navy rosters dangerously close together here. But look at 2 a.m. Clouds. This could be an engage as they are making a lot of progress to get close to the Wolfpack Red roster. This would be a Tulsa Roughnecks Red versus Wolfpack's Red situation. Here's the engage. Cloud gets close but takes a lot of damage, pays for it with HP. Still fighting for the high ground visible. Not a decisive opening coming through yet. Here's in the cone. They're getting a lot of damage out. Impulse Nade is going to break everything apart. Cloud's fighting to put it back together. Currently fighting for the bottom position once again. This might give players just a second to get healed back up, get their resources together before engaging into what could be the most important fight of round number 4. Two very competitive duos going at it, but Clouds takes a big chunk of damage, still fighting for the high ground position, but isn't able to get to the position they want. Visible, I'm just waiting for the domino to fall, for this fight to really be set in stone on who has the advantage. But truthfully, the licks have been going back and forth, and I think it's broken out entirely. I think it's calmed down.
Yeah, this is going to be the last little quiet time.
Did I miss an elimination? I mean, we're down. Did the Roughnecks Red do it? How would I have missed that? Like, did you see the Roughnecks Red come through with the eliminations?
I'd be okay with even chalking it up to partially
maybe some spectator
bug.
Yeah.
Spectatory
okay
mishaps.
I'm not exactly sure. In either case, Roughnecks Red are still alive and well right now. So are the North Carolina Navy roster. Here are the North Carolina Platinum roster. So we're checking in on them as it looks like this is going to be a fight between the two.
Both trying to get some kind of angle.
And here we have North Carolina Navy just receiving shots from so many different angles. If you look at the mini-map, I think Navy's position here might be the scariest. So many different angles that they could be receiving in from. And I think what I'm settling on, Visible, is that Hardcase is still alive. So Destiny got eliminated in that duo skirmish we saw between Wolfpack Red and Roughnecks Red. And Hardcase was able to kind of get out of that situation and just keep the roster alive. So there is one solo involved in this final circle here. And again, it's just who's going to break down onto who. Rain owns you with a massive rotation. I think I want to check this out from Jay Striker's point of view. They're a center of mass right now, Visible, and they're holding down. I mean, look at this angle. This is an interesting angle. Both players, if you walk into that sight line, you might be cooked. Jay Striker, some good damage coming out. Bro, pushing into the box, finds one, gets knocked in return. Who's going to be the one to shoot the final shot? It is going to be Citizen 521, the last person standing. North Carolina Navy putting on a spectacular show in the final 2 rounds of this match day and taking out the North Carolina Platinum roster. And we're down to 2, Visible. 2 duos, 4 players left alive. North Carolina Navy once again making it to this final 2, this time against Roughnecks Red. Is this the same final 2 as last game?
I believe so, yeah. Platinum NCAA Navy, I think, was also in there.
Yeah, North Carolina Navy is in right now, and this is our Roughnecks Red roster that has the high ground. Roughnecks Red, they've come out on top previously. They already have a match win for today. Can they make it happen again? Big damage landing, the Katana rotation coming through from North Carolina Navy. Another rotation with the grappler there, taking the high ground. OG Leon somehow stuck on the low ground here. Jay Striker's trying to make it happen. Maybe an overcommitment. Unfortunately, no. Navy's going to drop there. At least they're going to have Jay Striker's drop, and Citizen is down to such a low HP. Visible, that's going to do it. That's going to be the victory royale for the Roughnecks Red roster on a spectacular performance. Not only from them, of course, but also from North Carolina Navy. Truthfully, Navy might be the story to look at here as we look at our standings, Visible. So we do have our standings updated from our matches today, and it looks like Carolina Storm Academy holding on to that top position. That is correct? Yes, Carolina Storm Academy with 150 points there, Visible. What do you make of our standings as they show right now?
Well, just really impressed with a team that has performed really well for us has been the Fortniters, and it's fantastic to see that they're still performing well, but other teams are giving them that challenge. that has been a really fascinating
Yeah,
progression, in my opinion, has been that we're used to seeing them on top, and right now we're having a little bit of a mix up, a shake up in the standings a little bit.
a huge shakeup
Um,
right now. To think that,
Huge.
rank 7 right now in the Yarks Fortniters, a roster that consistently places at the top, in the 7th seed. This is our top 10, of course, and you can always access our full standings on our website, or if you are in the competition, through our competition Discord server there. But for a team like the Yarks Fortniters to be down in the 7th place, or a team like North Carolina Navy, visible, who finished second in 2 consecutive rounds here in this match day, to be in 6th place, that speaks volumes as to how competitive this competition is. And every time we get to see Carolina Storm Academy, Roughnecks Red, North Carolina Platinum, the list goes on and on. I mean, so many of these rosters, if they're on the screen, you know that something incredible is about to happen. And I think that is phenomenal for the sake of the competition, but also for the teams that are maybe one rung lower on the ladder. It shows that those teams can break in any moment, because some of the teams that we are so invested into watching right now, they were a rung lower last season, right? Or maybe even just a few match days ago, right into the last season they were there, and they've already progressed to this level. So I think it speaks to how quickly this competition is evolving.
Yeah, been just fantastic to see it evolve and take the next step up. A very crowded field at the moment in that top 10, especially as you're inch your way. That the top two are going to be quite a crazy battle, clash of titans. If the standings continue as we've seen them continue up to this point. So excited for the postseason. Excited for all we have in store later on this season.
Yeah, it is going to be fantastic. Thank you all for tuning in to match coverage for the 2025 Spring Series Fortnite competition. Tune in again in 2 weeks for more coverage, more gameplay. I'm actually on the edge of my seat. I mean, I can't wait to see how this progresses. It is going to be by far one of the most competitive seasons we've seen in the AEA. So tune in with us there. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Great job to all the teams, and have a great evening, everyone.